Hello everyone, welcome to the series of Indian Nomics. Today's topic of discussion is inflation. When I talk about inflation, inflation is not only important from UPSC perspective, but also it is important from the common man perspective. Because whenever the price of the goods and services increase, it affects the life of the common man. Now, if we can remember that in 2019, how onion prices have affected the life of the common man, and how in 2020 tomato and potato prices are increasing, and it is making very difficult for the common man to survive in this COVID crisis. So in this background only, this lecture had been designed to help you out in not only understanding the concept of inflation, but also how inflation is measured, how it can be linked with the macroeconomic indicators like GDP. These all things will be discussed in this lecture. But before discussing these terms, let me tell you a quote which is very close to my heart. Now, this was a lesson which used to be given to me by my father. Now, he used to say to me that don't make your expectations too high that your capability fails to achieve. Now, this quote is having a very clear resemblance with the topic that we are going to discuss today. Expectations high means inflating your expectations. Don't inflate your expectations so much that your capability means potential. If you do not have the potential, and if you only keep on inflating yourself so much, then ultimately in the end you may not be able to satisfy your expectations, and this can create frustration also. Now, by making this a statement, I don't want to say that expectations should not be there. There should be expectations, and there is no doubt about that. But expectations should be controlled. That means there should be inflation, but inflation should be controlled. There should be a controlled level of inflation. And that is why the monetary policy authority of our country tries to control the inflation between 4 plus minus 2%. That means while relating this quote with the concept of inflation, I can say that inflation is not bad, but inflation should be within the capability of the economy. Say for example, if you have increased the prices of onion to 100 rupees per kg, this is beyond the capability of the consumers in our country to purchase. So your expectation of selling the onions at 100 rupees may not be able to be realized in reality because there is a lack of capability in the economy. So there should be inflation, but it should be controlled to a level. So we can very easily relate with quote with the concept of inflation. Now, let me talk about the definition which is being used while reading inflation. It means a sustained increase in the general price of goods and services over a period of time. Sustained means a continuous increase. Say for example, if I am talking about certain goods A, B, C and D. Okay, and if I have measured their prices at a duration, say for example May 2020. Again, I will try to measure the difference in their price in, say for example, June 2020. The difference D, that means there are D1, D2, D3, D4. These are the differences. And if I take the weighted average of all D1, D2, D3, D4 to get a common term that is called D, this weighted average difference is called as inflation. That means here A, B, C, D represents the goods and services, and over a period of time, you can also see the term here over a period of time. So over a period of time, I am going to find out the difference, and the weighted average of that difference is going to be inflation. So if there is an increase, if D is positive, that means there is a sustained increase, and if the D is negative, that is called as opposite of inflation, that is called as deflation. So this is the general meaning of inflation. Okay. Now, how do we measure inflation in the Indian economy? So there are certain indicators. This is called as producer price index. Producer price index. This is wholesaler price index, and this is consumer price index. So these are various indicators of measuring inflation. Now please understand this thing. If I see this term PI, these are common. That means these all are price index. These all are price index, but from various perspective. Why various perspective? Say for example, this is the producer. After utilizing the raw materials, producer had produced the product and it goes to various wholesalers. This is a branch of wholesaler. Yes, and from wholesaler it goes to retailer. These are retailers. It goes to retailer. Retailer means R1, R2, R3, R4. These are the retailers. And from retailers it goes to consumers. C1, C2, C3, C4. These are the consumers. Yes. So if we measure the inflation, that means producer level, that means the change in the price of the raw materials. If we measure the inflation at this level, this is called as PPI. If we measure the inflation at wholesaler level, this is called as WPI. And if we measure the inflation at consumer level, now please understand, it is very difficult to go to consumer and find out the price. All the consumers will come to retailer. So it is better to measure the difference in the price at the retailer level, which is also called as consumer price index, because all the consumers are going to come to the retailers. So CPI, consumer, is calculated at the level of retailers. So these are the various indicators or various indexes which are going to tell the increase or decrease in the price at various levels. Now according to our demand, we can find out the inflation at various levels according to our demand. That's what I want to say. Now there is one term that is called as headline inflation. Now what is headline inflation? Simple term is which comes in headlines. And what comes under headlines? Any inflation index, it is an inflation index which measures all goods and service in the economy, which measures all goods and services in the economy. Now practically it is not possible to measure all goods and services, but probably all. A better term will be probably all, goods and services. Now when I talk about any index which is going to measure all goods and services, CPI is better than WPI. If you go back to the same diagram, WPI, please understand this thing. If I want to measure good, say for example, good is produced and it has been sold to wholesaler, and then wholesaler has passed the same thing to the retailer. Goods usually pass through this mechanism. But when I talk about the services, services are directly sold from producer to the consumers. They don't pass through the wholesaler. And the reason is very simple. Say for example, a consumer wants, for example, law service or legal service. So the consumer is going to directly to the lawyer. Yes, this consumer is not going to the level of wholesaler, rather it is going to be the level of the producer itself. That means the producer supplies the services directly. That means if I want to measure all goods and services, WPI will not give me the numbers of inflation at all goods and services because it excludes the services. When I talk about producer price index, PPI is not calculated in our country. It is a concept of US, and we are talking about introducing PPI in our country. But it will take time. Then what is left? The thing which is left is CPI. And that is why the headline inflation is consumer price index. This is the headline inflation. Okay. Now, as I said that any inflation index is going to consider certain goods and services. Now, those goods and services are being categorized in certain formats. Say for example, food and beverages. It constitutes 46% of the total basket of the consumer. That means of all the, like say for if I say that there are A1, A2, A3 to A1, n number of goods and services. That means out of these numbers, maximum weightage is given to which category of goods? These are called as food and beverages. Okay. Now the second one is housing. Third one is fuel and light. These are the various weightages which are given to various category of products. Yes, miscellaneous means services. It includes services. So this is the basket which is being utilized for calculating the consumer price index. Now please understand this thing. This basket will vary from country to country according to the consumption or consuming power of the population of that country. So whichever good is important for them, they are going to consider that good in the consumer basket or CPI index basket. Okay, so it will vary from country to country. Now, if I talk about the trend, please understand the trend, from January you can see. In January, the CPI was 7.59. Now, as I said that RBI is the monetary policy authority of the country. And the role of RBI is price stability. Price stability. Why? Because RBI generally prints the money in the economy, and money affects the price stability of the goods and services. So that is why RBI, before printing the money or before inducting money in the economy, RBI has to consider the price stability. And the price stability is measured with what? CPI. And the target of RBI is to maintain CPI at 4 plus minus 2%. That means it should vary between 2 to 6%. And 4 is the intermediate level. But you can see that in January 2020 and also in December 2019, the inflation numbers were very high, CPI numbers. Yes, after that they were decreasing, but again 6.58, 5.84, again it has increased to 7.22. It is decreasing, but still it is 6%. 6% is the highest level which RBI can tolerate. That means inflation, the CPI inflation or the headline inflation is not reducing. Now why this is happening? Please understand this fact. During this dip time, there was a high food inflation. There was a high food inflation. And oil prices were also increasing. So that is why the inflation was high at this point of time. But why during this time the inflation is increasing? Because of COVID. Now how because of COVID? Because of supply shock. Now what is this supply shock? Please understand this thing. Supply shock means the producers are not able to produce. Why? Because there was a lockdown in the country. Even if people have the money in their pocket, they're not able to purchase because there was a complete lockdown because of COVID. Yes, and any good or service depends on two factors. One factor is demand, another factor is supply. Supply is done by the producer, demand is done by the consumer. If the consumer is demanding, but because of lockdown, the supplier is not able to provide the goods or services, then certainly the demand is going to increase more, and that is going to increase the prices. That means there had been an increase in price because of the supply shock. This increase in the price was because of the increase in food inflation. You might remember about the concept of onions. They were very costly at that point of time. So there are various reasons There are various reasons, and please understand this thing. Food will always play an important role. Why? Because food constitutes around 46% of the CPI basket. If you remember this thing, you can see this fact. It constitutes around 46% of the CPI basket. So that is why the inflation numbers are going like this. So the trend is it increased after July 2019, increased to the level of 7.59. Again it decreased. Again it increased. And in future we don't know, but still it is at the level of 6%, which is very dangerous because it is the highest level of the bearing capacity of the RBI. Because if we are not going to control inflation after this, then certainly the common man's life is going to be affected. Okay, so that is why. Now please understand this thing. There is one more important term which is called as core inflation. Now please understand, there are two terms which are called as core and periphery. This is the core and this is the periphery. Periphery is something which is in the interaction with the nature or environment. It is in the interaction with the environment. Core is something which is isolated. That means core is something which is basically unchanging part. It is unchanging. But periphery undergoes changes, or periphery undergoes fluctuations. It undergoes fluctuations. Subtract these two fluctuations. That means, as I said, that periphery is always going to fluctuate. Now what is core? Core is always unchanging part or probably less changing part. So if I subtract from CPI combined minus food and fuel component, then I get the core inflation. So core basically tells us the stable picture of the economy because the food and the fuel component creates problems. So if you see the trend from January 12 to December 19, you can see that even if the food inflations or the common inflation CPI headline inflation is creating a lot of fluctuations, and we also have discussed the reasons behind that, like onion prices or prices of potato, tomato and all those things. But core inflation is more or less steady. But core inflation is decreasing. Core inflation is continuously decreasing. There is a decreasing trajectory in inflation. There was a small duration between this. You can see there is a very small increase in core inflation. This is a duration between 2016-17 and 2018. Basically, this is a duration when it is increasing. The rest it is decreasing. That means if continuously something is decreasing and if it is not stopping, it is going to be a discouragement for the producer. Why? Because producer should also get something in return. So if you provide them with a small amount of profit continuously which is increasing, it creates a kind of motivation in producing something. Now this is not exactly happening in the current scenario. Yes, the core inflation is continuously decreasing. It is not showing any kind of sustainable path, which is also affecting the production in our economy. So this can be also one question in UPSC, that how they move. Maybe the core inflation moves in the same trajectory because if you can find out any relation between them, there is some kind of relation between them in this duration. The rest, they are not moving together. So they may not be always moving together. There is a lot of difference between core and periphery. There is a lot of difference between core inflation, which tells us the basic core part of the economy, subtracting the food and the fuel component. And it may not always go with the CPI combined. Now, recently we have seen that the CPI combined is very high. If you see this number 7.22, 6. This is at the higher level. Now what is the reason behind that? Please understand this thing. As I said that price is decided by two factors. One is demand. The second one is supply. These are two important factors. Demand is by the consumer and supply is by the producer. Because of lockdown, the supply was restricted. So lockdown affected the supply, and that was the reason for increase in inflation. If the supply is less, yes, there will be inflation. Why? Because people will demand, and according to the demand, supply is not provided to them. So certainly it is going to increase the price. It will increase the price. Yes. Now, what is going to be the forecast? Is it easy to control inflation? Please understand this thing. Now, if I see the demand side, lockdown was imposed in March. At least people were having some amount of saving. So they were able to sustain them for 2 or 3 or 4 months. But now the savings is reduced. Savings is becoming zero. So maybe in future, the people may not be able to demand the goods and services. Now, after the lockdown has been eased, the supply problem had been reduced. But there is a problem of demand. So, till July, if I say that supply side had dominated the discovery of the price level in the economy, after July, I expect that the demand is going to decide. Why? Because millions of migrant workers, they don't have any work, although the government is trying hard to put them in some kind of work, but then also you cannot find any kind of work for them. Yes. Say for example an engineer, or say for example a courier person is not going to come and work on the fields because this is not their skill. So there had been a problem in providing jobs according to their skill. So in future, demand shock can affect the price of inflation. This can be the forecast from the current economic condition. Now, as I said that there are two indexes of inflation, one is WPI and another one is CPI. Now please understand, WPI is from the wholesaler point of view and CPI is from the retailer point of view. And you can see the basket also. Now in WPI, the manufactured items are having higher weightage, around 65%. Whereas in consumer price index, you can see that the food is having a higher component. That means it is not necessary that both WPI and CPI will always move in the same direction. They can move opposite also, they can also move in the same direction, because there is a difference in the weightage of the goods which is provided in the different index. In WPI, it is the manufactured products. That means actual industrial production is going to decide the WPI number. Whereas in CPI, the monsoon or the consumer purchasing power is going to decide the price at the consumer price index level. And that is why you can see this diagram also. You can see that how from July 2019, the CPI was continuously increasing. The reason was food. The reason was fuel. High price of the pulses, high price of the onions. This was the reason why CPI was increasing. While in the same duration, you can see that the WPI was decreasing. And what was the reason? Reason was oil. Why? Because for manufacturing, you need crude oil. For manufacturing, we need the crude oil. And if the oil prices are decreasing, and also if because of GST and demonetization, there is very low demand of the manufactured products. You can also remember one fact that BS6 norm had affected the automobile sector. These all things have decreased the demand, and that is why WPI was going down. Okay. After that, when the crude oil price has decreased, when the crude oil price has decreased, then certainly what happened? When the crude oil price has decreased, the things were more in favor of the manufacturing sector, and that is why WPI has increased. But after that, you can see there is COVID crisis, which is again affecting the WPI. But this is not happening in the CPI, because CPI is more dependent on monsoon. Yes, so monsoon is going to decide, food is going to decide. So we are having good monsoon for the Kharif crop. So it is expected that the CPI is going to decrease, and also the demand shock is going to be there. Okay, so they both are not going in the same direction. That's what I want, because of the different weightage given in different index. In CPI, food is the important weightage, and WPI, manufactured items, is the important weightage. Okay. Then after that, as I said that, and they both cannot tell exactly how the industrial production is going. Please understand this thing. It shows that we never had a better industrial production, India's industrial output, this diagram. We always have it at a lower trajectory, and you can see that how in 2020, because of COVID, there is very weak industrial production. So why this thing is happening? Please understand this thing, and this is also being supported by this fact. You can see that how WPI is decreasing because of COVID. That means WPI, which is more close to manufacturing, can be more closely related with what? It can be more closely related with the IIP numbers, but not exactly with the IIP numbers. That we are going to discuss, because please understand this fact. You can see that how CPI and WPI are moving. During this duration, both are decreasing. After that, CPI remained constant almost, but WPI moved in the lower trajectory because of the oil prices and weak production. After that, both WPI and CPI are extremely low. Now what is happening? CPI is increasing, but WPI is decreasing. That means they are not moving in the same direction. But if you talk about the economic growth, please understand this fact. 2017, around 8.2% GDP. 2016, we had 8% GDP, and after that it is decreasing, and it is expected that post 2020, the GDP is going to be close to 1% or 0%. That means why these indexes are not able to be correlated with the GDP, because the macroeconomics is not so much easy to understand. It's not only the inflation numbers which are going to decide the GDP numbers. There are much more important factors which are going to play an important role. But one thing can be done, that if the inflation during this duration was extremely low, that means there was very low demand, and that is why also there had been a decrease in GDP, because if there is no demand, why the production will be done? But this is not everything to be explained about the relation between inflation and the GDP. So in a nutshell, what I can say? I can say that there is one factor which is called as GDP. This is very important fact. Please understand this thing. GDP is the output in various sectors, say for example agriculture, manufacturing, and services. These are three important areas which are going to decide the GDP of the country, economic growth. Now please understand this thing. Production will depend on certain factors, say for example demand, and according to demand, if I am going to supply the goods and service, and this is going to be valid for almost all the sectors, for agriculture also, for manufacturing also, and for services also. Okay. If the monsoon is good, if the monsoon is going to be good, the production will be high, and we can control the food inflation. But we know this fact that agriculture contributes only around 14 to 15% of GDP, because 65% of the GDP comes from services, and the rest, around 20% of the GDP, comes from manufacturing. That means even if you are going to have, please understand this thing, agriculture sector is going to increase the demand, because the farmers are the most important factors in the economy. But agriculture contributes only 14%, so it is not everything to contribute in the GDP, because manufacturing should also grow and services should also grow. And even if these two sectors are increasing, then also they cumulatively comes out to be around 35% only. 65% is contributed by the services sector. That is why even we don't have any manufacturing production in our country, but still we were having around 8.2% GDP in 2017. That shows that the macroeconomics is not so easy. So if there is high inflation, if the inflation is high, it will kill the demand in future. If the demand is killed, it will kill the supply in future. But it depends on every individual sectors like agriculture, manufacturing and services. And services is more information technology related. IT revolution is playing a major role. So even if your demand in agriculture or manufacturing is not very good, on the basis of service, which is 65% of the GDP, you can get a better economic growth. But currently, because of COVID, what is happening? Manufacturing is zero. There is no manufacturing. You can see how IIP numbers are coming out to be negative. It is negative now. So manufacturing is getting affected. Agriculture, monsoon can contribute to certain level, but still it is not everything. Yes, service sector, there is a weak demand in the international markets. Now most of the important services are like banking, information technology services, the services like hotels or tourism. These hotel, tourism, banking, they depend on the capacity of the consumer to pay the money. That means the income is very less this time. So that is why in this situation, the relationship is very complex. There has to be, injection of money in almost all the sectors of economy, which is also called as helicopter money. Now what is this helicopter money? Helicopter does not require any predefined path. It can take off in any direction, at any point of time, at any location also. That means this is a kind of money which should be inducted in the complete economy to any sector. It should not be channelized to one sector. Say for example, like aeroplane. Aeroplane is following a certain path always. That means if you only provide money to the manufacturing sector, say for example, so that manufacturing sector will get the boost. But helicopter money says what? Boost every sector of the economy, because every sector is getting affected. Yes. So if we have found out the solution for the COVID, vaccine, it is going to revive the trust in the economy, and that is going to increase the sustainability of the economy. So the relation is not very easy to find it out. So certainly inflation can affect, may affect, but inflation is not the only one which is going to affect. Even if inflation is going to create some positive effect, but that also depends that on which area inflation is there. If agriculture inflation is high, then that is not enough, because agriculture contributes only 14 to 15%. And that is why the role of macroeconomics to find out the relation between these indicators like index of industrial production, or for example WPI, PPI, CPI, GDP is not at all easy. Okay, so we also need good economists to predict the situation. So that's all which was important from the inflation topic perspective. I tried my best to provide you with the best kind of relationship. Okay, so on the basis of the discussion, here is an exercise for you. You have to do one question related to inflation, and you have to give your answer in the comment box. Inflation is a sustained increase in the price of the goods and service. With reference to which of the following statements are correct? Inflation numbers are enough to predict the economic growth potential of the country. CPI combined is the headline inflation which measures the movement of goods and services in India. Monsoon is having a great impact on the inflation in the economy. Inflation decides the general trajectory of the objectives of monetary policy in our country. And the last one, macroeconomists deal with the analytical relationship between various indicators like CPI, WPI, GDP, IIP, etc. So this is your task. You have to give your answer in the comment box. We'll meet again. Thank you so much for watching this video. Keep on appreciating and keep on reading and trying to gain new things and new concepts. We'll meet again. Till then, goodbye.